Hello everyone! We are Group 6 and for today's video, we will be making a wine made out of strawberries!
So these are the following ingredients that we've used in the wine fermentation: acid blend, wine tannin, pectic enzyme, and wine yeast. Next, we have the main ingredient, which is the strawberries. And then we also have sugar. And the container or the vessel for the wine. So these are all the materials that we're gonna use in making our wine. First and foremost, we need to wash or rinse the strawberries that we are gonna use in the experimentation to make sure that our main ingredient is clean, and so with the wine that we're gonna make. Next, after washing or rinsing the strawberries, we need to cut its leaves, and then we need to cut it into half so that it will fit the fermentation vessel. And then we need to place the strawberries into a large bowl or directly into our fermentation vessel. After placing our strawberries into our fermentation vessel, we need to put enough amount of sugar into our strawberries and allow the sugar to pull the juice from the strawberries for a few hours. We just need to wait for a few hours, and then we will see that the sugar will completely dissolve the strawberries, and then we will be able to extract their juice for the wine. Putting the strawberries through a juicer just pures them, so this is a much more efficient method. So for the next step, we just need to add all the remaining ingredients except for the wine yeast, including the wine tannin, the acid blend, the pectic enzyme, and 1 cup of water. Inputting all the ingredients, we just need to make sure of the following measurements of the individual ingredients, like the acid blend having 1 teaspoon, the wine tannin having 1/8 teaspoon, the pectic enzyme having 1/2 teaspoon, and 1 cup of water. After putting all the ingredients, we just need to give it a stir or a shake to combine the ingredients. Next, we need to dissolve a packet of wine yeast in about 1/4 cup of water and allow it to rehydrate for at least 5 minutes. After rehydrating the dissolved yeast, we need to add it now into the wine base. And then cap the mixture with a thin cloth and then allow the mixture to ferment up for about 7 days to 2 weeks. After the fermentation, we need to filter it through a fine mesh strainer as we go to remove any strawberry chunks and leave any sediment behind. And then we can now proceed to the pasteurization process. In the process of pasteurization, precautions are observed since we will be using different heating equipments. And so in this process, it is carried out by rapid heating to 65 to 75 Celsius for about 3 to 5 minutes. This is followed by a rapid cooling to 25 to 30 degrees Celsius. Before putting the wine, we need to wash the bottle with a soap and then rinse and then vent them to dry. When the bottle is dry and the wine has cooled, we can now bottle and cork it.
Because of this fermentation activity, I got to experience winemaking for the first time. I also got to witness how fascinating fermentation works by simply mixing water, sugar, yeast, strawberries, and a couple of other ingredients in a sealed container. After some time, it will turn into wine. As I understood it, the yeast present in the mixture are microorganisms that convert sugar into alcohol, which is ethanol, giving birth to our alcoholic beverage, wine. This happens because of the lack of oxygen in the system or the container, which does not allow the yeast to perform aerobic respiration. Thus, it undergoes anaerobic respiration by proceeding to fermentation after glycolysis. I will really treasure this winemaking experience because not only did it expound my knowledge on fermentation, it also helped me realize the significance of fermentation in winemaking industry.
This activity really helped me understand what fermentation is and how it works because I got to experience making wine. Actually, making wine made things a lot clearer than just reading about how fermentation works. Seeing fruits, in our case strawberries, slowly turn into something new, which is wine, was really interesting and cool. It wasn't just about learning, it was like a hands on experiment or adventure that made me enjoy and understand what fermentation is and how it works a lot better. Which is why I recommend doing this activity to you guys if you want to know how fermentation works.
In making a wine, there are several stages or processes that we have gone through before we can fully produce the wine. And one of the process that we have gone through is called fermentation. Now, upon doing the activity, I was able to learn that fermentation is a natural process wherein the yeast is the reactant that is used to break down the sugar from the strawberry juice, which is what we use, to produce ethanol and carbon dioxide. And I have also learned that the fermentation takes a lot of time before the sugar can be fully or thoroughly dissolved by the yeast. Overall, I have learned many things, not just from the fermentation, but also from the other processes in making the wine. And it was fun, yes.
So, by engaging in a simple fermentation of wine, I was able to harness an understanding about fermentation process, and this experience I was able to witness the transformation of sugars into alcohol by yeast. I was able to observe the production of carbon dioxide and of course, the importance of temperature control for fermentation conditions. Well, in our wine making, I was able to learn also the significance of cleanliness and sanitation to prevent unwanted microbial influences in our wine, and of course the patience it requires for the fermentation as it progresses, along with the steps of racking and clarification that contributes to the comprehension of fermentation timeline. Overall, I was able to learn the basic principles in making wine.